these parties would actually have some chance. So that's for me, and please have questions.
Yes,
Please.
So, as a professional in this, what do you think about election qualifications? As far as we spoke about that, there is controlled vote and there is buying of voters and
Election qualifications.
Yes, qualifications. So, who can vote and who cannot?
Everyone should be able to vote.
It is the most democratic instrument for express your political opinion.
Every single person should be able to vote. There are some limitations. For example, people who serve prison sentences for very ugly crimes against with a very high level of public danger. Sometimes they're explicitly denied their right to vote. But for everyone else, you should be able, and this is very important. If you're disabled, you should be able to get in the school. If you're in a hospital, they should come to you.
When you are speaking about so-called sensory voting, there was an idea last year because the protests in Bulgaria, they have born the idea that we need some kind of, how to say, you have to
we have now limitations like the age. You have age.
For example,
you need to be 18.
You need some educational level in order to vote.
Just for example.
Yes.
I'm speaking about that. Or maybe you should attend in the country. You should pay your taxes. You should pay for your health insurance and all those things. You have to be the part of the country in order to vote.
You are. If you have your ID, you're already part of this country.
Yes, but are you really part? Are you doing anything for this country?
If you don't vote, you're not.
You mean, for example, in Bulgaria, the so-called Roman minority, are they really integrated in our society? Because, as I mentioned 20 minutes before, the right, the responsibility, freedom without responsibility, it's nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Just for example.
The right without responsibility is nothing.
Just for example,
yes.
For example, why tourists who are in Bulgaria in the day of the elections cannot vote? They are here.
They can, if they register beforehand, they can. They should have planned their trip.
Register as whom? As tourists from...
As a person who is going to be here. The way I worked in Denmark.
No, not from European Union. From Kazakhstan, from China, from... They're in Bulgaria. In this moment, they're part of our community. Why they cannot vote?
Because this is only in this very short given moment. Because they don't have the European ID, because these are the European elections. That's what I mean. There is census, and that's holding a valid European ID and being above the age of 18. Anyone else is able and free to visit the European Union, but of course not to vote. Like if I visit Singapore for 2 hours, I shouldn't vote for Singapore, and if I change then flight to Darwin, I shouldn't vote in Darwin, and if my mission is then in Southeast Asia, I definitely shouldn't vote for these people.
So what is the difference if I'm here, I have my ID, but I'm doing nothing for country, for nothing. I'm not part really of this society. I'm here all the year, I don't get out of the country, but I do nothing. I don't pay my taxes, I don't pay my insurance, I don't go to protest, I do just nothing.
But you do every act that you do is a political act. When you go out in the morning on the street and buy a newspaper, it's a political act. When you choose the brand of yogurt that you buy, it is a political act. The fact that you congratulate or not your neighbors, it's a political act, and you do things in this society. So even if you're not aware of that, you do by your choice of who you speak with or choosing not to speak. This is a political act.
I'm just not speaking, I'm not buying newspapers, maybe sometimes I'm stealing or doing something like that.
This is a political act. This is not nothing.
Am I okay to vote?
Yes.
Can I vote?
Yes,
Is it the same like a tourist who came from China and who spends a lot of money for buying a dinner in the restaurant, as well paying taxes?
Money does not give you right to vote. Now I understood the idea. No, we don't care if you spend money or pay your taxes. we care if you have ideas. And if you're a tourist and spend a lot of money, this is great. And I mean, you probably get a lot of products out of that, or a lot of food, but this does not give you a right to vote. A right to vote is the fact that you belong to this society, and it's your choice not to go out. I'm a member of my family even if I don't like them and I don't say hi to them. If I haven't ever called them, I'm still a member of my family. I still have my family name, you know? So this is the concept of voting. Yeah, I understand it's not perfect,
Maybe
as I mentioned.
what is to be a part of this society? What you should do to be a
It's
part
very
of this
important
society?
question. I agree with him because one of the explanations of the protest last year in Bulgaria was that there are so many people without any civic duty for the society, and they vote and they determine the politics and the policies of Bulgaria for the next 4 years.
This
it's
is
a problem.
this is really not understanding the concept of voting. This has to do with juridical system, with many other things in a working society, in a government. Voting is free for everyone.
But it is really free.
Surely.
Okay.
Why don't we allow
Again.
people from the age of 10 to vote?
Because we believe, as a civilization, you know, European, let's say, that a person on the age of 10 is not
Responsible enough.
is not ready to make informed decision. And I will come back to your question. It has to do with responsibility. If you're stealing, as you said, you want to steal this newspaper, and police catches you and sends you to jail, you're going to serve a sentence. So this gives you the right to vote. You understand? You have the ID, you have your responsibilities, and this gives you the right to vote. The person who will go to jail is the person who can vote. Understand? If I can send you to jail, you should be able to vote. Get the idea? No, but it really works like that.
I think that there is something.
We don't need you to have money. It's okay to live in a cave. Come and vote.
There is some collision between the right to vote as an abstract category. It is the democratic right to vote, but we have always taken into account not only the political context that my colleague mentioned, but also the cultural context. And our cultural context in Bulgaria is absolutely different than the cultural context in France, in Germany, because they have not these problems, for example, with their minority, with all these people that are not integrated in our society as political zone politikon, as Aristotle used to say. It is a big problem.
And that's our fault. The rest of the society.
Yes.
We should fight for better information, understanding, not by the newspapers of a certain guy,
Yes.
and not watch the TV stations of another guy, and do our best to inform the people. Like, I'm a teacher and I try to inform all the students in my class, regardless if they're Roma, not Roma, pay their bills, wear shoes, not wear shoes, say hello, not say hello. 18 or less, because one day they will be 18, even if today they're 16, in 2 years they will be 18. So it's my responsibility as a member of the society to inform them.
But to hear you, I have to be here. If I'm in the cave, I won't hear you. I want this information won't get to me. I will be uninformed. So how can I understand that to get some money and go to vote is wrong? And
Who will find in the cave to give them money?
oh, believe me, if I want to get money to vote, they will find me everywhere.
So you're quite informed. I mean, no one ever offered me money to vote.
Why?
If someone comes to your cave,
don't you vote
if
for
someone
money?
comes to your cave, offers you money, means that you have some very popular cave with a lot of information. You even have money. I mean, wow. Give me the address of that cave and let's make business.
Maybe
That's the other question. Why won't you vote for money? Maybe
Why wouldn't I vote for money?
Yeah, maybe if
I would
someone
vote
gives
for money.
you
No one offers me.
there's not enough money for you.
I never said I'm not going to vote for money.
So what's your price?
Who do you want me to vote for?
Just for whoever I want. What is your price? Or there is
It's
no.
not the same. Depends on who.
Who is the worst for you? choose the worst one and vote for
I don't
him.
want to give them so much attention. I don't say bad words in front of the audience, but I think this is very abstract.
There was another question.
If you would vote for someone that you really dislike.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't vote.
I wouldn't. If I really dislike him, I wouldn't vote for him.
Is there any?
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have as an organization any mechanisms to check the financing of political campaign and causes of, for example, private donation?
Yes, this is publicly available information, and they are obliged to publish it.
And second, why don't we vote in the same rules in the different national states?
Different national
It's
systems.
Different nations.
Different
one
national
institution,
systems.
common institution, and we vote.
It's what I said in the beginning, but maybe you came late, so I'll repeat. Because all our societies develop in a different way. For example, in Switzerland, there are 3 official languages. Different political and historical events created and shaped our nations and societies. So it is absolutely impossible for the same rules to apply everywhere. Trust me. I've been in many countries.
It was a Habermas idea, the so-called European
Yeah.
constitutionalism.
I agree for the national election, but Europe is a common project for every nation.
Yes, but it doesn't mean that we
European
have to do
Parliament.
everything on the same way.
Yes.
It's
But-
a part also of the culture.
European elections are very much standardized. We do have the same rules for the European elections.
But the culture has a very great impact on the manner we do it.
Very small
This
details are actually
may-
different. For the European elections, it's all the same for
But
every
the
country.
culture is something that we cannot neglect.
We were only,
because-
we were only able to choose. Do you want to vote between the 22nd and the 25th? That's about the choice we have, and we also have like little, only technical things. The philosophy for the European elections is the same for every member state.
But these little technical things sometimes may change.
Of course, and the weather also. If it's raining, probably less people are likely to go, or if, like in Bulgaria, they open a little earlier the fishing and the hunting season, maybe a lot of people would prefer to go fishing and hunting for these particular elections. And this is a political act, and it's done on purpose. But yes, these things influence, and it's up to you to be well informed and to choose, do I want to go and fish, or I want to decide my future? And if you're well informed about the consequences and the power of your vote, I think you'll make the right choice. But I like fishing
if
too.
you live in a cave, fishing is better.
Exactly. It's up to you to decide, and I really don't believe that people who have no opinion and live in a cave, they really have anything to do with politics and voting. And this is my personal opinion. But I also strongly disagree about the idea of census of who should vote. If you have responsibilities, and if you run over with your car a person and send you to jail, then you should be able also to vote. I mean, if for one thing we consider you an adult, and we have strong measurements against you, you should also have the freedoms. And if you're not paying your taxes, or you're illiterate, it's a problem of the educational system, of the juridical system, of the police. It's nothing to do with voting. Voting is to everyone. Every single person should be able to vote.
One of the biggest public balls in the United States get to the prison because of the taxes. So maybe taxes are as much important as not killing, not stealing, and all
Everything
these
is
things.
important.
It's your participation.
I agree.
You said that it's a problem of the educational system, but don't you think that
Some problems that I mentioned.
yeah, some of the problems. So
The illiteracy is a problem of the educational system.
exactly. Don't you think that this could be also seen as a political act in order to be easier to how to say it?
To manipulate.
To manipulate the
manipulate,
illiterate
yes.
part of the population?
Come and write down your name. You're good for observing elections.